was blessed to be a part of a church that mentored me really well from a young age and gave me lots of opportunities. I found myself in youth ministry first, because that's what you do when you want to serve the church and you're young. And from there, I just grew a love for Jesus and for the church and for helping people to discover who they are in Jesus. And that kind of set me on a journey of testing the waters with Bible college, really enjoying it, feeling the pull to be developed further beyond youth ministry. And then eventually I found an opportunity to lead at the state office with Baptist churches in South Australia, and from there really felt the call into leadership, and I haven't looked back.
So I studied out of school a Bachelor of Social Science. I just had no idea what I wanted to do, and it was sort of aligned with my values. And then I got a job at the church that I go to and working in community development. So that was really life-changing for me because I really got a foot in the door in what it looks like, what it means to work in a church and work in ministry and to be in a leadership position as well. At the end of last year, so end of 2021, I just felt like it was time to do something about it. I heard about the internship through Baptist churches and I just thought it might be a good first step to becoming accredited, and it's going to be a journey because I'm just studying part-time, so it's not going to happen in the next year or so.
Well, I was an engineer once and that didn't really work out, and I probably shouldn't have been an engineer. Anyway, eventually I went to Bible college and I went to Burleigh College in the 90s. When the 3 years came to an end and it was time to make a decision about what to do, I did apply for pastoral ministry, and I was told to think about what I wanted to do in the future and have a couple of years before you come back. I was at the Westcare Church at the time, and I stayed at the Westcare Church for a couple of years. Eventually I did I stayed on the leadership team at Westcare. I did pastoral ministry there as a volunteer. I worked at service stations and I kept on studying. I studied a Bachelor of Theology, but I ended up becoming a social worker. So I didn't end up going down that path, but that was a big part of my life. And I worked for the West End Baptist Mission, known as Westcare, and then Baptist Community Services and Baptist Care, pretty much for all that time until about a year ago.
So when I was 14, my mum actually passed away. And so because she was such a huge part of my life and the reason that I'm in ministry, that, her passing away in itself was unexpected. I think the fact that I still felt like going to church and the fact that I still felt like having a relationship with God, that was in itself unexpected, because a lot of people, when you go through tragedies like that, they expect you to fall away from God or to have an attitude of complaint or, really feel like life is so unfair. But I just had this incredible peace from God, and I was able to still fall in love with the church and fall in love with God all over again despite my grief. That in itself is just so unexpected, and I can't even explain why. I remember really vividly when I was 12, I was sort of having a little preteen crisis, not really sure what I wanted to do, and my friends knew what they wanted to do. And I was talking about it with her, and then the next day she said that God had spoken to her and said that she's a pastor. That's always really stuck with me, because it sort of really solidified what I wanted to do, and it called it out, and I was like, yeah, that is actually what I really want to do and what I want to be when I grow up.
As I was chairing the search, the pastoral church, for this church, the week before that I was at a church service at Salisbury Baptist, which is for the Baptist churches in this area, and at the end of the service, one of the people, Aunt Hay, asked me, "Are you the new pastor of Playford Baptist Care?" And after a few minutes I said no, maybe less time than that, just felt like lots of minutes, because on the Thursday of that week we're about to appoint the person. On the Thursday following that Sunday, the person said no. And I thought, I think God's talking to me. I think I better listen. So I went back to the leadership thing after that, and that was unexpected, and said I think that I need to put myself forward. And so from that time on I came off the committee and went through the process myself.
The most recent development where we've found ourselves, my husband and I co-leading together, has been unexpected. In fact, when we went through the interview process, someone on the panel from the church said that when they present this to the church, it's going to shock their socks off, was the comment. I don't think the church expected it, and I don't think we entirely expected that God would call us to it either. But that's the way God works often. His ideas and his plans are bigger and better than ours.